accepted.
Hey everyone, welcome to the tech capital of the world. My name is Bobby Davis, CEO, founder of Foundry. And Kevin, I'm joining you from a new location, but I'm still in Siberia. So,
it's still part of the bunker complex. Right?
Yeah, that's a bigger place.
It's just a bigger bunker. It's a bigger room in the bunker complex.
Right.
Right. Is that what it is?
Yep. So we're still waiting for our new world headquarters to be opened in Kernersville. So
yeah, they're going to be a bit longer than we wanted, aren't they? But that's all right. We'll get
there
when
you live and work in the tech capital of the world, permitting just takes a long time.
Who would have thought like the bureaucracy of Kernersville would hold us up?
Yeah, I need to give Chris a call and say, "Hey, man, I know you're the mayor, but can you do me a solid?"
Exactly. We know you have the power.
But yeah, we've got big news today. So we want to talk about a lot of news here. We thought we'd give you the opportunity to make sure that you understand. A lot of people ask us, are we running a discount for Learn.Coder? And normally that is $99 a month or $549 a year. And you twisted my arm and you talked me into making this the best deal since launch day. So in the last 2 years.
It is. Yeah.
This is the best time for you to ever buy this. So basically it's $199 for the whole year, which is 2 months. I mean, if you think about it.
That's it. That's exactly what it is. We actually right here on the website. So we would normally this is our normal pricing that we normally do, $594 for the year. So $49.50 a month is what it generally comes out to. But we load it to $199 for the year, so it's like 16 something a month.
Right. And we think this is important because we do know that tech companies are going through layoffs and everyone's worried, and it's no better than the end of the year to learn something new, to invest in yourself. And for $199, definitely, if you were looking at this as getting somebody something for Christmas, hey, now's the time. This is a really good deal. Lots of content. So I think just for the viewers out there, we'll just walk through a little bit of the content and just show you kind of what's on this thing. And then as we're moving into .NET 7 been released this year, more content will come to the platform next year. So this is a platform and not just what's out there currently. As we add things, you just get them. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's some of the features of this. Yeah, whatever we add new to this, you just get. It's as long as you're subscribed, you get all the content.
Right.
There's no tiering system here. We have one tier. It's
tier.
Two technically. It's free.
Simple.
We have some free content on there.
Yep.
Or our subscribe content. No matter which way you choose to subscribe, no matter which subscription model you choose, because we do have a few different options to choose from. We did a semi-annual version, which was like $70 a month, or we have a month-to-month version too, which is $99. But we're offering the discount on the
annual version.
On the annual, and the cool thing about this is, just like for you guys who got it when we first launched it, your pricing stays in too. So if you get it for $199 now, it'll be $199 next year too, $199 the year after. Right. We're not cable. We're not giving you an introductory price of $40 and then charging you $100 the next time it rolls around. We're not doing that. A lot of
for all of our customers.
I hate that. So I'm like, we're never gonna do that. We are never gonna that's just not gonna happen. That's not gonna be a thing that we ever do. We're not doing cable pricing. We're doing forever pricing.
So there you go, $199 forever. And as we add content, you can add content, keep your skills fresh, keep them sharp. Especially, if you want to learn .NET, we think it's the best place right now to get .NET training. And so we do think increasingly that's becoming more important in the marketplace. So
somebody posted on Discord earlier on, so somebody posted, can anybody recommend an ASP.NET course on Udemy? And I was like, well, I don't know about Udemy, but I know we have the best one.
Learn.Coder Foundry, man. Come on now.
So you can go buy this one right now on sale. That works. So if you want to get the sale, you can do it. You can either go to pricing and do it, or you can click the banner right here on the homepage.
Just click that banner to show them what happens, and then it just marks it off.
Make sure the markup discount price, and you get it for $199, and it is reoccurring. Even though it says $594 year reoccurring here, it will rebill at $199, not $594.
Yep.
So it's a permanent $395 off every year. So
Yep. Forever. As long as you keep it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
So there's no other news to talk about, is there? That's kind of the big That's kind of the big thing, right? Our discount is the news.
Yeah, we watched the World Cup. We took yesterday off to watch the World Cup.
So. we kind of watched the World Cup a bit yesterday, didn't we? Yeah.
We were trying to record stuff just to let you know, and then I was watching the World Cup while Kevin was talking to me on LinkedIn watching US. So yeah, kind of funny.
So we watched the US game, which was a great score for me. 1-1 is perfect for me in that group.
Yep.
And England winning 6-2 should have really been 6-1. Should have really been 6-0. I'll take that. Take that one.
Yeah, and so today we also thought we would, if you got a question you want us to answer stuff about, whatever you're trying to do development-wise, just put it in chat, and we'll answer those questions. We'll go through some of the content here if you want to look at what's in this thing and what is it worth your money, is it worth your time.
Yeah, it's something we haven't really done here, isn't it? We've never really kind of gone over what's in here.
It's just kind of interesting, but so we can go to courses here, and then so we have there's a couple things in there. So you have the complete .NET Bootcamp, which is kind of everything. And so we are transitioning to where these will be more modular, so you can kind of see what's in here. But let's look at the first one there, Kevin. So if you go down here, it's obviously HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap is where we spend a lot of time. We show you how to build a portfolio. We talk about JavaScript, and we talk about building applications inside of JavaScript. And then we also go into C#. Now, this right now is in .NET 5, and you're probably thinking, okay, I want .NET 6 now. You can still learn a lot. Yeah, you can still learn a lot about these. And as .NET's releasing every year, these are incremental upgrades as far as how things are built. So you can definitely take this and then transition to .NET 6 if you need to. But definitely, just because it's in .NET 5 doesn't mean that you can't learn anything or that it's obsolete.
It's majority the same, isn't it? I saw a tweet earlier actually from somebody who's working. They were Microsoft MVP, and they were talking about switching over an application from .NET 4 to .NET 6. It was it's a running application, and it was the whole code base, and it took them about 45 minutes to fix the things that were there. And they said,
and that's a bigger,
and it was just a bunch of namespace.
Change.
Exactly, it was just a bunch of namespace issues. That's all it was, though. It wasn't that big of an issue to switch it over, apparently. So from one to the next, and then look at the performance upgrades. They said the performance upgrades were massive, going from 4 to 6. Right. And that was a reason to change it. So enough to say that learning a legacy version of the thing doesn't really matter. This is still a code base that's this version of .NET is still in use in a bunch of places. Not everybody switched over. And those that have, it's the difference isn't massive.
Yeah. The other thing that I want you to think about is this. Let's say that you don't want to come to Coder Foundry, which is fine. You want to go to a different boot camp. You want to do somewhere else. What you can look at this is, what are the things that I need to build to get a job? And I think the main reason that we're seeing now is the reason people have problems finding work is their portfolio. We were talking to a student online the other day. He's he interviewed for a job, and if he just had something to show, he felt like he could have won it. And I think that's what's lost among our competitors. And so typically they don't build enough projects, and the projects they build are too simple. And so these are complex projects that you can use to show off. All right. And so they come in 3 flavors. We're going to build a Movie Pro application. We're going to build a blog app. We're going to build a Contact Pro or a address book. And then we're also going to build out the bug tracker. So these are things that you can build on your own so that you can show them. Now, there's 2 things you need to do to find a job. A, you need to build something to show, and B, learn how to talk about it. And that's where our other course comes in called the interview. So if you take this and build all this stuff, then you can hop over to the interview. And right there. And these are the top 30 C# questions that you need to be able to answer to be able to get a job. And so after you build the stuff, then you can come over here and say, do I know these questions? And there's top 20 have video, and then we have another 80 that cover things that are just written up.
Too, by the way.
Yeah.
The actual course itself.
Yeah.
But here you go.
So we've got Tony Arena, one of our lead instructors here, that just shows you how to, what is MVC, for example. So how do I answer this question? And this is a great place for you to learn how to answer interview questions, which we talk about demoing answers. And so like there's a lot in here, not only the academic answer to what we're saying, but also the technique to turn those questions into demos, an example with code. And that's what we do right here. So like, I think those two things make it a very powerful platform for you to learn. Now, let's say that you don't want to learn .NET and you want to learn MVC or learn something else, React or whatever. You can still use our technique here and you say, okay, could I find the top 30 questions in React? Yes, you could. Yep. But this is how you win. Yep.
Across different stacks too. So they're not just
especially with Java for sure. Yeah. But Razor syntax is specific to what we're doing, but there's a lot in here that you can learn from.
And each one of these has like really at least for the top 20, as you said, have videos. We also then have the example as well, but then we also have code snippets for a lot of these too. We actually take you out to sometimes. Oh, this one's just a table. I think it's the only one in the top 10 that is a table, but most of them have a code snippet too. So we link out to this, for example, where it's like a bunch of the Razor syntax you can actually. So this is a little.
So you can see kind of what the snippet should look like, but you should have this similar code snippet already built out. So like this is something that you should build the projects first, then come back here and start studying for the interview. Yeah. So I think those two things is very powerful feature. Now we can also look at some things that we've released this year. So we look at we've upgraded the .NET portion of the .NET Bootcamp with the .NET 6 with MVC. So in here, it's similar projects, except now we've built them out with .NET 6. Now, one of the things that we did here was we took our address book that was in the pre-bootcamp course, and we've made it a lot more demoable. So like this is a really kind of cool thing called Contact Pro that will upgrade the project, not necessarily in the coding wise, but just the view wise, the functionality and the things that you need to do here inside of .NET 6, but also something that you can now have, it's demo worthy. So whereas before you only had a blog, and now we have this address book that we've made it demo worthy. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
pretty
let
excited
me go into
about
that. So you can actually see what that looks like. We have there's like a little demo thing up front. For the
There it is, the intro.
You can kind of see like what a little bit. Yeah. Play it. You can't hear it. You'll be able to see it.
And pretty much through the Contact Pro, I'm the instructor on that. So if you're worried about who's teaching it, I'm the teacher on this one. So if you want to learn and you like listening to my voice, the sweet radio sounds.
Oh, now you've just turned everybody off. Now no one's.
I know, yeah, exactly.
So yeah, you build this pretty cool looking address book in .NET 6.
And you can email contacts from it. You can email groups from it. You can upload images. It supports security, all the things that you need to have. It's really kind of a really, really, really cool.
Yeah, if we go to the things that you'll see all the different things that are in. There's a lot of content in here for sure. There's a lot of different. How many videos that is? If I go back, we can see because I tallied them up. Where is that? So the address book part is 59 lessons, about 12 hours worth of content building out.
Yep. Which is enormous when you think about it, like comparatively.
It is when you think about how long it's going to take you to do it too. That's just watching the videos. That's not just building the things and reading the materials that are there. Yeah, there's a lot of content in there. Yeah. Overall, I mean, if you look across our platform, I've never tallied up actually across the whole platform, but there's, I mean, this course alone has 20 hours worth of content. The complete .NET Bootcamp has over 100 hours worth of content. 350 lessons, over 100 hours worth of video content. It's a lot. There's a lot in here.
They also we have the JS coding challenges down here. So this is one of the free things if you want to go try something out here from us. But I think this is like one of the most complex things that for free ever. I mean, like, as far as like you being able to come in here and learn the top coding challenges that you may be presented with when you interview for a job. So let's say, even if you're interviewing for a Java job or you're interviewing for any kind of job, they give you coding challenges. And these are the most common ones we find for people that are trying to get roles. So students go out and get roles for the boot camp, and we ask them, hey, what did they ask you? And we found the most common one. So this comes with a GitHub that you can look at a solution, and then we go through and talk through each of the coding solutions, and then you'll have a repo that you can enhance on your own and change on your own.
Yep.
So it should be pretty easy.
For the stanogram check one, we have this link out to the GitHub for it with everything in there. And then we also have the link out to this has a regex sheet as well.
So anything that you need to learn about, we put it in here. So it's a good one-stop place. Now, it's not everything, but there's a lot in here that you can learn. And so I think this will help you as you interview. You might get a whiteboard challenge. You might get a thing. I'm also teaching this one as well.
Yep.
So.
Yep, there's tons of good stuff in here. Some more complex than others. The second one's more complex than a lot of them, but we saw this one a lot, so we moved it up to the top. And actually, say this, like, we put this up front here too, look, because people do get stuck on this one a lot, and it's like, no. If you get stuck, go past it and come back.
Come back and look at the other ones.
It's okay. Yeah, this one can take a little bit longer to kind of get to grips with. That's okay.
Yep.
And what else we got in here? We got a couple of publishing
LinkedIn,
things too.
Publishing.
LinkedIn we'll come back to in a second, but the Netlify, publishing Netlify, pushing Railway for .NET, showing you how to do that.
Bootstrap.
We separated out the Bootstrap on its own too, so you do that. The Above the Fold's going to come eventually. That's a new portfolio site that we have.
We're teaching that currently in the in-person cohorts, and so we're trying to bring that out so that you can do what an in-person cohort person is doing and what they're building.
Yep. And then this one, I like the LinkedIn one, which is free. By the way, you can get the LinkedIn one for free. There's a bunch of like little tip videos in there, sort of LinkedIn tips, things around. Basically optimizing your profile.
Yep.
Yeah, there's definitely good stuff in here because it's important to be on LinkedIn. It's important to then use it correctly. There's a couple of tips in here that if you implement will definitely get you noticed. And that's the free course. You can go there. You can just go to the website and get a free account up here.
Yep.
Sign up for free, and all you gotta do is your email address. That's it. Doesn't really.
Yeah, and so a lot of things that we do in here are to get you breaking in to get that first job. I think the key thing is the reason people are failing is the projects aren't good enough, or they don't have any. And so these are good enough to get you a job, and so that's kind of that's how we built the course. It's not necessarily what's easy, it's what's necessary. And we think the skill to break in is kind of up here comparatively to other boot camps. And so that's how we run our in-person boot camp. And this is kind of mimics what we're teaching. So, but if you want to come in person, starts in January, we're interviewing now. So just make sure that you think about that too. That's another option that you could take. And if you do take the in-person boot camp, you will get lifetime access to Learn.Coder Foundry. So it's kind of cool. So all the students that take the in-person get this forever for free.
Yeah, you basically just get it tacked on.
So
let's see.
All right.
You have some questions. Tally up. Sandy just says, "What about Indian students? What about them?"
It's just.
I mean, I don't know.
You can take it. I understand there's a price difference, but it's just it's the best deal that we can do. Period.
It is what it is. Yeah, we don't have the option to do parity pricing or whatever. So this is it is what it is.
So it's 66% off. So
let's see. Yeah, it is 66% off. Yeah. Melos says, "Do they teach in Coder Foundry how to work with Docker, Amazon Web Services, and CI/CD integrations?"
So we're using CI/CD a lot. We're not necessarily using Docker just because when we go to Heroku and Railway, that's kind of built in. So we're not building Docker before because the integration is so tight and it just builds its own. So we don't necessarily need to do that. And then Amazon Web Services, not really. We can. There's other courses for that. We can't teach everything.
I would, if I was doing the Amazon thing, I would go straight to the Amazon Learning, AWS Learning. I think it's pretty much covered there.
Here's our approach. Like, even if you're going to build something on Amazon Web Services, you need to know how to build a web application. So this is what we're talking about specifically inside of ASP.NET, which we think is increasingly more valuable in the marketplace, that these are the things you need to know. Now, CI/CD, we're using GitHub all day long. And with Heroku and Railway, we are pushing those straight from the builds. Now, we're not doing everything, setting up all kinds of complicated CI/CDs, because typically if you're working as a junior dev, you're not doing that anyway. You just need to learn how to use Git. How do I push to a certain branch? And then how's that branch then does a compile or where to run the steps, whatever it needs to do. But, we can't do everything. We want to focus on the core skill of building web applications. And then there's a lot of things that surround this, and we may get to that eventually, but there's a lot more things about building web applications that we want to release before we go into some of the integrations with, maybe Amazon Web Services, or even Azure, or Docker, or some of these other things that are important, but they're additive to building out web applications. We think web applications is the core skill that we're trying to teach.
Right. So, right. I just think there's probably if there's just other places to learn, better places, I would say. That's the thing. It's like, why not just go straight to the source and kind of learn it from Amazon? I think that content
we could
is
teach
really
it.
Good too.
We could teach it, but like
I think that content is really good too, though. By the way, if you've gone and looked at it, it is actually really good. It's really good stuff.
Yep. Cool.
Okay. Let me see. That one. Brewpad wants to know, do you guys cover asynchronous programming with JavaScript?
Not really. I mean, like some of it, not really. Most of the things that you're going to find asynchronous is covered inside ASP.NET. And so like a lot of what we're doing with tasks and things like that are covered inside of ASP.NET. So that's where most of our hardcore lifting is done when we're building applications. So we are using the front end so you can learn how to manipulate the front end, those kind of things. We are like covering the Fetch API where you can build your blog and then hook your web portfolio up to your blog using that kind of model. But that's about as far as we go on the JavaScript side. We may add more to JavaScript. It's just that we are really focused on building things with ASP.NET, and that's inside that framework covers all these complex toplets, like, how do I run something asynchronous, and that's from the requests. Maybe it's the database request. Maybe it's the actual request for the controller. There's some really complex topics in there that we cover. And then we can continue to show the benefit of learning this programming model in .NET Framework. And we think that's where the jobs are going to be anyway. So we're going to continue to work on that. Yeah, Drew Max says Power Build is where it's at. So yeah, it's kind of funny.
Let me see. You should teach more about CI/CD. It's really important skill these days, and what to understand because people are going to use it every day.
I think maybe you are, but that doesn't mean everyone is. I've talked to a lot of companies that don't have their CI/CD pipelines in place yet. They should, but they don't. I mean, so they're still
on a personal project.
It's
easy. Yeah, on a personal project, it's easy to put into place, isn't it? But on a wider scale, it's more difficult, right?
Yeah. So typically they have, they may not need to know everything. And so, again, here's what we think. Here's what I want to think. And I think Miller has a valid approach here. Is that a skill? Yes. Is it the primary skill you need to know to break in? No. Is it something that you should know? Yes. But is it going to keep you from getting a job trying to break in right now? So like there's two types of things that you need to learn. And what we're saying is, what do I need to learn to get a job? And that's kind of what we're teaching. These other ancillary skills are valuable. It's just that we're not going to cover that right now. Right. So,
do you want to explain what CI/CD is, by the way? Somebody's just
asking.
So it's constant.
What this is. Yeah. It's, all right. It's just constant integration, constant deployment, which means that, in short, if I push something to a GitHub branch, that branch can be programmed to take certain actions. So, for example, when we publish to Railway, we hook Railway up to the main branch. When we publish to that main branch, that will trigger a deploy to Railway without our intervention. And so it's constantly doing that as things are pushed to the branch. Now, this CI/CD pipelines can get very complicated that you need to do a host of things, right. And so and you also can do merges, and there's a lot of things you can do, but we do show you that, hey, you're pushing to the Git main branch. That main branch is hooked into Railway, and Railway is going to pick those changes up and deploy it for you. So you didn't have to write it. And that's typically, even if you're working in a big organization, that these pipelines are already figured out. And they're going to tell you, okay, make sure you're pushing to your dev branch. No one's pushing to main.
Yeah.
That's handled by someone else, that kind of stuff, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so it's way more complex in a job environment, isn't it? On your personal projects, it's easy because you're mainly changing. You maybe have
it's
two branches, right? You're doing maybe you just start pushing straight to main, and you don't even have two. Sometimes you just have one. It's just nice and easy. But it's just you, yeah. But when you bring in multiple people and multiple code bases and all the changes and all that, it just becomes way more complex.
Yeah, because you got merge conflicts and just run into a lot of different things that you need to fix.
Yep. So cool. DrewMac says Power Builder is where it's at right away. That's actually what I use at my current job.
I used Power Builder when I started out. That's the first thing I learned in my first coding job was Power Builder on Windows 3.1.1 back in the early 90s.
So what were you able to do with Power Builder? What did Power Builder do?
Oh,
never used it.
Let me tell you about like engines. So like my first job was working on Caterpillar and Mack truck engines.
Okay, and
so we built a thing that would test these engines, and so it was called JPro, which is the protocol from an engine back to the website, and so like or not to the Windows application. So the Windows application would, for example, see how fast the engine was running, like RPMs, that kind of stuff. So you'd put the engine on a test block, and then you could put sensors on these things, and you would test the engine to see if it's doing what's supposed to. You pull the accelerator throttle. Does it go up? Does it go down? Does it test it out? So that's kind of what it was for. And that company has blown up and done really great things since I left. So I don't know if that's good or bad.
Oh, that's good. You laid the groundwork for it.
That's it. Yeah.
To be the great
it's all me.
It's
today. All me. Yeah. I'm sure that's what they think.
Exactly.
They have posters of me in the building. I'm sure that's what it is.
So is Power Builder desktop only then? Is that?
At the time, that's what it was. I mean, you got to understand this is 92, so pre-web. So now what I will say is Power Builder never really made the transition to web. I don't know what the current state of Power Builder is right now. DrewMac would know more than I do. But like once 97 hit, Microsoft and InterDev came out, and then ASP came out, and then we never looked back from doing those kind of things.
Wow. Okay.
So
your first web thing was straight into ASP?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, I will say this. And when we first did, I was working for a company called Aon, and we made the first benefits enrollment site probably in the world at that time. So Aon being a very big application or big benefits provider. Yeah. And so when the web first came out, we went down there and we said, hey, you know what? This looks like a mail center. And they were mailing out these applications when you sign up for health insurance. And so if you don't know how this worked in the 90s, basically they would get, one of our clients were all the Fortune 100. So for example, Michelin Tire, they have 50,000 worldwide employees. So they had to make 50,000 packets and then mail those out.
Right.
So you had this giant mail operation with just like stacks and stacks of forms. They had to make sure the forms were correct for each individual employee and make sure that you don't send, that we had it from NASA was a client too. So you send the NASA forms and mix them up and put them in the wrong packet, then they'd have to like send the right packet out. So like all of those kind of manual processes happened. And when we went down there, we said, hey, you know what, we could do this on a website. And I remember looking at the lady and she goes, what's the web? What are you talking about?
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Like, what do you mean web? Like, what is that? And so we were explaining to them like, hey, you could pick this form on a thing and then the people just fill the form out. And that started a online enrollment, and we rolled it out in 97, like right when it came out. The back end of that at the time was written in Power Builder. So we had a Power Builder application, and then we made our components written in Power Builder. And
so they were just forms basically then that filled the
data.
Yeah,
you just fill the form out. And so you had to tell it like which form to represent to this user, and that's all the database driven stuff. And so like and the back end that we had to run Power Builder on the back end. And then Power Builder at the time was built by a company called Sybase. And I can tell you that just didn't work well, like at the scale that we were doing it.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy, like how many people were on this website, and we were doing it in 97. Now today, man, you just roll something .NET out, easy peasy. But that wasn't easy then because you had to reboot.
But it was running on a single server, wasn't it?
No, it was hundreds.
Was it? Oh, really? Even back then, though, they were thinking about like, okay, that's
when I left, I had almost 30 developers, and there was 50 people easy in the in the IT department for as like running servers and things like that. And when I started, it was 4 guys, and like
that's crazy.
the IT department was like really small, and so like
But this is definitely pre-cloud, right? So this was physical servers you had to maintain that were
site.
Okay, yeah.
So we're basically just rebooting things all the time because memory leaks would happen and it just didn't work right, But
that's funny.
But it was but they weren't mailing forms out, and so it made $1 billion. And
right. Was that the convincing point then? Is that the part that convinced somebody like, hey, you'll save a massive amount of money by doing this? Because it is a risk. That was a risk that it wasn't going to work because it wasn't proven at that point.
Right.
That's crazy.
And it worked.
That's
even
awesome.
If you are rebooting it with 100,000 people. About 30 years ago. Exactly, man.
There you go. So he's maintaining a power builder.
You're working at Aon? No, I'm just kidding.
That's funny. Yeah, that's funny. But I mean, that shows you though, like an application book 30. I wonder what are you doing? What industry is it? Don't tell us what company or whatever. I don't need to tell us that. But what industry is it in? Because that's interesting. It shows you these legacy code bases down there, and people are still worried about moving on from .NET 5. Like,
exactly.
It's like a technology that's like 3 years old.
Yeah, they're still updating Power Builder. It's just that it's just not as relevant as .NET is today in today's time. I mean, I'm sure there's jobs out there. Drew Mack has a job doing it, so like it's fine. It's just that if you learn .NET, you have a lot more opportunities.
Right.
Regardless,
so that's got to be niche, right? It's got to be a niche thing. You've got to be in the same. It's got to be very small.
Yeah.
Hopefully they pay you well because you're
they do.
You're in a small group of people who.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
It's got to be so niche, that group of people trying to find somebody new that knows Power Builder.
He's processing medical claims.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
All right.
There you go.
I worked on one of those too back in another life. I worked on a claims processing system.
Okay.
Yep.
There you go.
For a large PPO here in North Carolina.
It just shows you think about healthcare being this like very forward, very technology forward kind of industry, right? And look, he's working on a piece of software that's 30 years old in medical claims.
Yep.
That's crazy.
And I know why they don't change it, because it's hard to change.
Yeah.
And so it's really
I'm sure it's integrated into a whole bunch of different things, and those integrations, like you change one thing, everything breaks. Like they could become a spider's web, don't they? I remember when I worked, I worked at a company called Excel, which then turned into DHL on the logistics side of things. They have the same issue there. They have these software. They have a bunch of different softwares, right, that they use, but their core software was so tied into a million other third-party things, because what had happened is they'd bespoke third-party things for customers, and then the customers had built on that, and then now they're like, well, now we can't change it. So it was a massive nightmare to change it. I was involved in one project where right at the end of my time there, where it was like, and I'm glad I wasn't there when it happened, but they spent years and years and millions of dollars on a piece of software they never rolled out. It never got to the point that they rolled it out. Years and millions of dollars, and they just could not figure it out. It's so complex.
It does happen.
A lot of developers made a lot of money write software, even if it never got used.
A lot of project
it's not the developer's fault.
Consultants.
Exactly, a lot of them. Exactly, a lot.
We actually rolled our medical claim processing system out.
There you go.
And we rolled out the Aon thing. Those things went in production. They made money.
I like it.
So
you ever been involved in something that hasn't made it out?
No, we don't talk about those things. So
okay. You're like no, but yes. Okay.
Yeah, those things give you ulcers. Like and usually it's not. A lot of times it can be things that the technology doesn't work, but it's not because they don't work. It's just because the business kept changing and moving the goalposts. Typically is the problem, or they just don't know what they want.
That's what happened at DHL too. It's like the software was put together. They give it to the people who need to use it, and then they're like, that's not what we said. Like, well, that's what you said in this business requirements document right here.
Yeah, exactly. It does that. Well, we want something else.
Yeah.
And that's typically what the problem is. And it's really hard to overcome some of those problems. It's typically really hard.
It's interesting. So these are things you all have to look forward to when you're a developer.
Exactly.
That's funny. Let's see. What else does he say here? Wayne Green says, Power Builder, C++ Builder, VB3, Clipper, Delphi, Fox Pro, Look about spaghetti code. Bad variable names, bad function names. All before Uncle Bob's clean code book stuff the madness.
And that's not my book. So like, that's someone else's book. So
but yes.
Uncle Bobby. So
yeah. Well, this is true because there was a point you could make things work that weren't necessarily best practice. You can do this today, right? You can make spaghetti code today. You can make you can develop something and you can develop something and it can work, but it doesn't use best practice and like give it to somebody else and it's now like unmaintainable, right? Like they can do nothing with it.
The engine thing that I had was Power Builder front end, C++ back end, and that's what communicated the engine was a C++ DLL and so I had me and another guy wrote most of that in the very beginning. So with
that's
Power Builder and C++.
How was that built into the engine then? They have some kind of microprocessor on the engine or something? Then you're reading it straight from a sensor. Okay.
Yeah, and so you had to have like it would send out data feeds, and then you get this data feed coming in, and you got to like process it in real time, and then the C++ would hand it off to Power Builder, and it would like show a graph or show a gauge, a speed gauge or whatever, and it's just got data coming into it. So it had to be performant, fast, lots of data.
Okay, so the real time aspect was that was a problem
C++.
You had to kind of fix. Okay.
No, I didn't have to. That was done in C++. That
was already done? Oh, okay.
So at the time I was junior, I was probably in my 20s, and this was my first programming job. So like there was a guy that I worked with that was way smarter than I was at the time, and he made all that stuff work. I just made it look cool.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Drew Mac actually says don't get paid that well. Okay, that's unfortunate. I'm sorry.
Build up those .NET skills. You're right, man. Invest in you, man. Invest in you.
It's kind of a shame that's the case though, because I would have thought it would have been the other way. Because I don't know. I guess pivot, yeah. But if you have a bunch of experience in it, I would try and leverage it too, and see if there's somewhere else that still has that same problem at a company. Because trust me, no one's learning Power Builder, so you're in a very niche group of people. Like you have to be.
Yep.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. Let's see. Neil Mix says, "Thank you bunch. It's great when you have a thing you built that's actually useful every day." Yeah. You talked about this before. You talked about you had this analogy before where you like your Taylor Swift Starbucks story.
Yeah, exactly. So like I think it's cool, and I use Twitter as the example. So like and we'll use it the same one, but like if you're Taylor Swift and you could walk in there and probably maybe two people, say there's 40 people in there, two people are listening to Spotify, and one of them maybe listen to Taylor Swift song, and she's like super, super famous. Okay. Yeah. But just about everybody's using Twitter or Facebook or something like that. So the thing that you build is used way more than say someone's listening to music or watching your movie, even though, so like you probably couldn't pick Christopher Nolan out on the street if he's walking down,
That's how big of a Batman fan you are.
Yeah. Batman or Inception or something, but like that's crazy when you think about development, especially things like Twitter or Facebook that are used every day. You get to have that kind of impact to people.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Bree. Yeah, what's up,
definitely. Man? Bree, yeah, thank you. Investing in the new Coder Foundry side business, Uncle Bobby and Cousin Kevin's taco sauce. Hey, that's not a bad idea.
That's a good idea, Bree. We may have to do that.
Idea. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Like that. If you've been around us for a minute, you've seen that we've done stuff like this in the past. We've had FizzBuzz the drink. I mean,
we have.
We made that.
Like we should make some taco sauce.
We should make some taco sauce. We had FizzBuzz the drink. What else have we done? We did something else too. We did something else out there like that. But we did the FizzBuzz the drink. We put it up on a website. You guys bought it. We sold every single can. Yeah.
It's just I don't want to pack it and ship it out anymore. We make more.
Yeah, it was because we actually when any of you guys that bought that stuff, it was probably me or Bobby that packed it and shipped it. I guarantee it was one of us too. We don't have like a bunch of people here. Like
then COVID happened, everyone went remote. It was just me packing it and like
exactly. I was and you had to go and ship the orders. Yeah, you're like
it's like
Are we ordering more of this? It's like no, I don't want to pick and pack this stuff anymore.
I don't want to pack it anymore. It's just like I don't want to like be the reason someone doesn't get their FizzBuzz because I just didn't feel like doing it. So
maybe that's the new venture. Yeah. Maybe we can
taco sauce. We can make some taco sauce.
I like that.
Spicy.
Yeah,
what kind of
what do we
Uncle
do?
Bobby,
do we do
cousin
extra,
Kevin.
do we do extra spicy? Is that what we do?
We have to have a range of taco sauces. Yeah. You got to have a verde. You got to have a red sauce. You got to have different ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Coda Foundry orange. That's what we need, isn't it? Coda Foundry
we need an orange taco sauce.
Taco sauce. They're kind of orange anyway, right? So we can. Yeah. If anybody has any suggestions on where we can source that from, where we can slap a custom label on it, let me know. DM me.
Yeah. Get another trademark, custom trademark for FizzBuzz.
Yeah. Well, we have custom trademark for FizzBuzz, don't we?
We do. It is trademark.
FizzBuzz energy drink is trademark. We do own it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. You designed the can. You did the can.
I did.
For that.
Yeah, the can was cool.
Yeah.
I love the can.
That was all your work. I remember when we sourced that. Come from like Poland or something crazy. It came from overseas, right? We had to get it from we had to get it from Europe somewhere. It was like making a custom energy drink isn't as easy as you would think. It's really not. Don't we still have a website for it, right?
I was looking it up right now.
Yeah. I'll pull it up if we have it.
FizzBuzzEnergy.com, maybe.
Yeah, I think it is.
Well,
do we still have it? I don't know if we still have it.
I don't know.
Let me see.
Tell you that we don't look for it.
Maybe we don't. I can't even remember what the URL for it was now. I thought it was that, but maybe not.
Oh well. It's okay.
Yeah. Maybe the domain expired or something. I don't know.
That's okay. We can get it back.
I'm sure we still own it. I just don't think the site's we had it on the Squarespace site. But yeah,
Squarespace site. Yeah,
it was. Sure. Yeah, I mean, but we don't have any more to sell anyway. So maybe the taco sauce is a good idea. Thanks for that idea. I don't know if we can make this kind of guarantee with it though. I don't know if we can make it it'll make you a better coder. It'll make your chicken taste better. But that's probably about all we can guarantee.
So it's kind of funny.
There you go. Neil has another product idea too. Bootstrap boots.
Bootstrap boots. Oh, okay. I love a good boot. Purple? I love a good boot, Neil. I mean, I do have lots of boots that I like wearing. Purple boots. I couldn't wear purple boots, but a nice leather boot.
Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing we've had. We've had custom Nikes. We have
custom Nikes. We have
Coda Foundry Nikes. I don't have mine with me, but they're downstairs. But I do have them. I do wear them. You gave us custom Nikes, so that was good. And you can still, you looked at another one recently, didn't you? Like version 2.
I want to make some more.
Nike ID is great. After you'd sent that, by the way, I did make my own custom pair. Not a Coda Foundry pair. I made a different pair. Because I needed a new pair. I made some. What did I made? I made some Air Max 90s. When you get them now, by the way, they say your name like on the box. So they say Nike Air Max 90s by Kevin on the box. So I was like, this box is amazing. It's so good. So you get your custom shoe, and then you get a custom box sticker as well. Like, it's cool.
Yeah, I like it.
Very cool. Yeah. It costs a little bit more, but you know. Yeah. There we go. Here's the tagline for it. Knowledge is in the sauce.
Knowledge is in the sauce.
I like it. What do we call it though? Do we call it like, I don't know if
Uncle Bob and cousin Kevin's taco sauce is great.
I don't know if that's the right thing. I don't know if that's the right thing.
That's funny though. It's just it's like that home.
It is, but we need to have like a little piece of like straw coming out of our mouth for that to play. You know what I mean? Like yeah.
We can't say it's from Texas because we'll get sued. So like Texas Pete,
although
we can't
Texas Pete's from North Carolina.
I know Winston-Salem.
So it's from Winston-Salem. Exactly, it's made here. If you go anywhere in Winston-Salem, by the way, and you get hot sauce, chances are it's going to be Texas Pete because it is made here, even though it's called Texas Pete. It's not from Texas. It's from Winston-Salem.
They're being sued because some guy thought it was from Texas, and he said he wouldn't have bought it if he knew it was from Texas. Okay. Even though the bottle says, Garner Food Company, Winston-Salem, North Carolina. So deceptive.
Can you sue for being stupid? I mean, is that a thing these days? Like, I'm dumb. I can't read the label, therefore I'm going to sue you. Like, is that a thing? Is that a valid lawsuit these days?
But what's your damage? It's a $2 bottle of hot sauce. Just take it back.
No, it's life changing for this guy. He thought this entire time he's been eating Texas thing, and now he's like, I'd have never eaten it from North Carolina. Yeah, exactly. I made life decisions based on the fact that this was from Texas.
Yeah, and then he's even admitted in the lawsuit that when he tasted it, he knew it wasn't from Texas. I'm like, yeah, so, like,
what?
Take it back.
If you go to a lot of if you go to a bunch of restaurants around here, they all use Texas beef hot sauce. By the way, if anybody here is local or ever comes here, and you want the best implementation of Texas beef, it's at Cranky's on their
I was going to mention
sandwich. It is literally the greatest use of the thing ever. It's so good.
With honey and Texas Pete on a biscuit with chicken is so good. I mean, it's so really good.
It's really, really bad for you. You can only have it once a year, but it's really,
it's
really,
Thanksgiving,
really good.
So go get one. So.
Yeah. I'm craving that now. I'm actually hungry. Kernersville coating sauce.
Kernersville coating sauce. Yeah.
I don't know. I want to put Kernersville in it.
Uncle Bobby and cousin Kevin. Sounds great. We could make a label for that. I could think we could make a label.
Oh, we could. I could totally see the label. So we're not going to be here Thursday. Hence why we're doing it today. Yep. This is like I know this is an off time for us, and we didn't announce it till this morning. So we're not going to be here Thursday. We're going to be out Friday. We'll be back again next week. So you may not see a lot of content from us. The thing that you might see from us is us talking about the sale on the course. So
take advantage of that. It'll go off sale on Monday, and then it won't be on sale. We just don't put it on sale much. So like we're going to continue to make new content, and people ask us after it goes off sale, can I get it?
Yeah, they do.
And we just say no. I'm sorry. Like we just want to make sure that we keep it on sale at certain points. So
we don't want to be like Kohl's. If you've ever been to the Kohl's store here in the US,
everything's on sale.
Everything's on sale all the time.
Every day.
If it's not on sale, just don't buy it because it's like it's going to be on sale next week.
It's kind of like Udemy. It's always on sale. Udemy's always on sale.
Udemy's always on sale. Yeah. It is, isn't it? If you go to Udemy and the course is like $90, next week it's going to be $12. Like it's just how it is. We try not to do that. We do genuine sales once or twice a year. We'll sometimes do a 20% off thing that runs. But this is the biggest one we've done since launch, like you said. This is the biggest discount we've done since launch, which was 2 years. Are we 2 years into this now?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
We're over 2 years into this now. We didn't do a Black Friday sale last year either. So this is our first year actually doing it. First time
so
actually,
I think it's a good idea. So click in there and you go do it. I mean, you're going to learn a lot. You can. We're trying to constantly improve the platform, but even what's there, you can learn a lot and you can use it to get a job. And so these are like professional grade projects is the big difference between us and like everyone else. Everyone else builds easier stuff.
Yeah, we're going to make a video about this here soon because
exactly.
We keep getting this comparison. It's like we keep seeing people like complain about boot camps, and we're like, and we look at the criticism, and then we're like, wow, well we don't do that, or that's not true.
We don't do it.
That's not us.
I mean, if that's the way it is, that's valid. But like, like we don't do what's easy. We do what's necessary. And so if you come to the in-person boot camp, you'll see that it's a total different experience far as us having teachers there 40 hours a week. We're just really invested in making sure that you win. And if you put in the effort, we'll put in the effort. So
and ultimately, it's about what you come out with, right? That's the other thing too. It's the process of learning to code is one thing, but what you come out with is another. Because we've seen recently some graduates from really, really popular high-end boot camps. Let's just say that. And we looked at their portfolios because they've come across our path through LinkedIn or whatever, right? And it was like, we looked at these and like, wow, okay, that's
why you're not finding a job.
That's why you're not getting a job. Because they're complaining. And they're like, oh, the boot camp sucks because I can't get a job after it. It's like, well, yeah, we know why. You built one thing and it's really not very good.
Yeah. So.
And it was a blog, and it wasn't really a blog.
It was more like a to-do list.
They called it a blog, but it was a to-do list. Yeah, and that was it. That's the only thing they came out of the bootcamp with. Now, sure, they learned some skills, they did some things, I'm sure.
Right.
But they didn't build enough coming out of the bootcamp, and they need to turn those skills and actually build some extra things. That's the other thing too.
Right.
They needed to. If the bootcamp wasn't going to teach it to them or have them build those things, they need to turn around their skills and build more things.
Right. And we've had people come here from their second boot camp, and then they just realize, like, wow, okay, like, and there's a culture shock too, like how much effort and time and work we put into the in-person boot camp. We have to really coach people through it. Like, yeah, this is what it takes, man. It takes 40 hours a week, maybe 50 hours a week for 12 straight weeks. But the end result is you get a job. And not because Coder Foundry is great, or I see some common criticism on Twitter saying, hey, just because the name of your bootcamp is going to get you a job. And I'm like, no and yes, but like no in the regards of like, if you have stuff to show and you can talk about it, you'll get a job. Doesn't matter what the bootcamp is that you went to, if that's what you can do. But we do know that people do expect portfolios coming out of here to be at a certain level. That's why we don't pass everyone either. Like, people get mad at us, like, where's my certificate? Like, you didn't build everything, man. Like, we're holding you to this level here, and we try to spend all of our time to get you to this level. Yeah. So that's kind of what we do.
Yeah, we kind of need to put our stamp of approval on it, don't we? Say, like, this is like, we have a bar, and you've got to go past that bar. This is a question, but Shelly knows. Shelly knows how hard it is. She's been through the course.
So, Shelly, what we're working on right now, they are coding on Blazor. So, like, we're doing that. I'll probably start recording .NET 7 bug tracker here soon, and finish out the above the folds. I just need to make 4 videos, but we had to move, and like this kind of stuff happened. Like, I'm just now getting set up to where I can do that again. So, like, I'm going to finish that out, and then I'll work on bug tracker, and then we're working on coding the blogs and all the stuff going with that. So it won't be just Blazor blog. It's going to be Blazor, lots of projects, and you finish it up with Blazor blog. That'll be next year sometime, when we get it out there. That should be really very cool.
Helgi, hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Just go to learn.coderfoundry.com.
Yep, learn.coderfoundry.com. Links in the description too, by the way. There is a link down there.
Up there top.
And if you do go there, you'll end up on a page that looks like this.
Yep.
And for sale, you can just click right here.
Click on the Black Friday sale.
Or you can go straight to pricing and click on the banner from here too.
Yep, you can click on it right there.
They will both, when you click on it, that will give you the discount.
Yep.
And that would be.
That's all you need to do. Super easy. Makes it easy. Antoine says, "Get the course now. Don't wait." We could have that, like, "Get the course now. Don't wait."
Should put that up as like a little thing on there, shouldn't I? A little banner on the webpage, maybe.
I mean, we could be corny. I could say, "Tell them, Kevin. What do we get? What do we get for our $199, Kevin?" I'm interested. You have me sold.
We going like full on car salesman? Is that what we're doing?
No, full on like infomercial. Like
infomercial. Okay, yeah. So those infomercial guys, a lot of them are English, aren't they? Here, I don't know why that is. Are we like better at convincing people to spend money? I'm not sure. I don't know what the psychology behind that is, but there must be something because there's a bunch of these guys doing it.
Well, no, it is something, and we're a sucker for the accent. Like, I'm telling you, man. Like, we think,
is that what it is?
Yeah, exactly. The British accent is cool, and we wish
so
we
therefore
had
you'll buy anything from somebody who tells you like,
exactly.
I don't need to buy stuff that, like, there's that one that always gets me. That's the I don't know what it's called. I can't remember the name of it, but it's the one where the guy with the water leak and he slaps the thing on it and it stops the water leak with a piece of like sellotape or whatever it is. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Really? And he's like got the boat. And he's like a leaking boat, and he puts this tape on a boat, and I'm like, come on now, this is ridiculous.
The tape does work, though. I have some.
Do you?
Yes. So, like, I could tell you what I used it for, and I didn't. So, like, I have a basketball goal in my driveway, and it's got a water bottom on it, and it froze one year, and it cracked, and all the water was leaking out. And so I was watching TV. I'm like, I'm gonna get some of that tape. I'm just gonna try it. And I filled it full of water and slapped the tape. Sure enough, man, it does work. Wow. It's still there.
Really?
It's kind of funny. Yeah, it works.
It's called like welding tape or something, isn't it? Or something like that. I can't remember the name of it, but it has some cheesy name. I don't know.
Yeah. Flexol.
But is that something like that? Yeah. But that's not all.
But that's not all.
Order today, get 2 for 1. That's not a thing we're doing. We're not doing a 2 for 1.
Nope. I wish we could, but we can't do it. So.
It's like buy one get one for a friend.
Yeah, she's got a job. That's kind of cool.
Yep.
So she came to the in-person boot camp. So she's done it. She's doing good.
Yep. There we go.
All right.
Okay, let's wrap this up.
That's it. Any questions for me? We got 5 minutes. I'll answer a question or we'll get off. Like, what's on your mind? Anybody got a question? Bree Howard says he thinks he's from Canada because he has a Midwestern accent.
Oh, okay.
So,
see, I don't think the Midwest has an accent. I spent a lot of time in Ohio, and I don't hear a real accent there. I have a hard. You can't tell when somebody's from Ohio. It's weird,
right?
At least from
it's
the
not the Southern North Carolina accent that you can hear.
No, it's crazy. I remember when if you go out like here, it's obviously there's a Southern accent here, right?
Yes, everyone talks this way.
But if you go over to like Western North Carolina, there is a real Southern accent. It is very different. Yeah. It's in the same state, but it is very different. It's very
it's a little more pronounced.
It's very more drawn out. Like I remember when I went over to Boone, and which is really not that far. It's really not, but it's really not that far. But man, is the accent different.
Yeah. So if you want to hear what it's like, I mean, it's very unique. You can go to Amazon and watch the series The Peripheral, and they have it down.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
And unlike if you watch Logan Lucky, which does the North Carolina thing, he's built in Charlotte, that's more overplayed, where it's not really realistic. But the accent's super realistic in The Peripheral. You know, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
How good it is. You don't even notice it when we're watching it. You noticed it right away.
I did. I noticed it right away because I was like, wow, that's okay. That's
just how people talk, man. That's how it was filmed in Asheville.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
So,
the lady who's the lead actress in it is originally from Georgia, I guess. So she knew it. She has a little bit of an accent already, but then she really played it up for the show. Let's call this a day. Let's
call it a day. Happy Thanksgiving. Eat some turkey for me, or find some good tacos. You can do that too.
Yeah.
And we'll work on the taco sauce, see what we can do. See if we can release some taco sauce. That would be hilarious.
Think about that. We can throw up a website. We can, you want to do pick and pack again? Maybe we'll get somebody else to do it this time.
If we could find someone that would pick and pack it for us,
if we can find a fulfillment service, maybe we just slap it on Amazon. Amazon do that for you, right? If you buy, I think you give them a certain amount, they'll ship it for you. I think.
I don't know if they'll do food that way. I mean, like it's kind of weird, but I don't know.
I don't know. We'll look at it.
Taco sauce. Thanks, Bree. We'll make some Uncle Bobby's and Kevin's cousin Kevin's taco sauce. I think it's hilarious.
Oh, that's good. I like it.
All right. We'll see you guys later. Good luck. Keep coding, and we'll see you next week. Have a great Thanksgiving. See you next week.
Take care. Catch you guys later.